Good morning. I'm Ed McNeil, Marketing and Communications Director for the City of Winston-Salem, and it's my pleasure to welcome each of you here as we gather at the Benton Convention Center for the graduation of Winston-Salem Fire Department's Class 19. We'll begin our program this morning with a welcome from the Winston-Salem Fire Department's Assistant Chief, Terry Carter.
Again, good morning, and I'd like to welcome all the family, the friends, all the other agencies, departments, especially our police department, and our distinguished guests. I would like for you to just relax and enjoy the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Carter. Please rise as the recruits from Class 19 enter the room and remain standing as the Fire Department's Honor Guard presents our national colors, followed by the singing of the national anthem by Winston-Salem Police Officer Florette Gregory Phillips. Please rise. Thank you.
Honor Guard, ready, set, cool.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Post, cool. Suit. Coat. Left. Hoot.
Thank you. Please be seated. I'll now call forward Assistant Chief Chris Langham to bring our invocation.
Thank you, Ed. Please bow your head. Most gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we come to you now in prayer as a prayer of thanks and celebration. We are here to say thank you for blessing those of us to live and work in this wonderful city. We are saying thank you for these 14 individuals that you've brought us, that you've blessed us with, that we have watched them grow and shine. Today is a celebration for them, Lord, and we thank you for that celebration. I pray that you continue to bless this city. I pray that you continue to shine your spirit upon these 14 individuals as they grow and they embody what the city of Winston-Salem is. Lord, I pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Chief. The city of Winston-Salem is guided by a council made up of 8 members and headed by Mayor Alan Joines. He began working for the city in 1971. He retired in 2000 and was first elected mayor in 2001. He is now serving in his 3rd term. Please welcome our mayor, Alan Joines.
Thank you, Ed, and good morning, everybody. To Mayor Pro Tem Burke, to our city manager, to Chief Farmer, to our speaker of the hour, Mr. Brooks, other members of the platform, to the families and friends that are here today, but most of all to the class of 19. I'm here this morning to say thank you. Thank you for stepping up and being willing to serve the citizens of Winston-Salem and the public, making our city a safe place by your work in the public safety arena. I know to the members of the family, you're so proud this morning to be with us today. It's a special day in your life, a special day in their life, but it's also a special day in the life of this whole city. There are 235,000 of us here in Winston-Salem, and we pride ourselves in having one of the top fire departments in the country with the very sophisticated way that we place our stations, with the equipment that we have, and with the training that these young people here have gone through in the past several months as they come on duty to serve us. We know we can sleep better at night because we have individuals like this who are on duty protecting us every day. You know, the fire profession is a very noble one, no question about that. Goes back for thousands of years, back to ancient Roman days. They had the fire department back in those days, and they probably still use some of those basic same equipment there with the hooks and things of that nature. But today we have a very sophisticated way of attacking fires. And firefighters don't just put out fires. We ask them to do so much more in terms of fire prevention. And now they're emergency medically trained, and there's been thousands, not thousands, but countless of lives saved because of the work of our fire department. Also, I do want to just pause and recognize in the back of the room our current police recruit class, class 66. These folks here will graduate in December and will be joining their colleagues in the fire department to protect and serve the citizens of Winston-Salem. So on behalf of all of our citizens, let me say once again to thank you for your willingness to step up and serve us and to protect us and to make our city safe. May you have a wonderful career with the city of Winston-Salem, and may God richly bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Vivian H. Burke has served on our city council for the last 36 years. She has been the chairman of public safety for the entire time. She is also Mayor Pro Tem. Please welcome the longest serving council member in the history of Winston-Salem, Vivian H. Burke.
Good morning. I'm so proud of myself, and I say this to the graduates. The mayor's also set protocol. He's also introduced everyone up here and out there, so I will not have to do that. I'm so proud of myself because I was guided to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, when I completed my education. And I came to a city that I fell in love with. And most of all, I did my job well. I was pleased that in working with people's children, that God gave me an opportunity to pick them up and to have high expectations of them. Last night, city manager and Mr. McNeil and his staff and some of the other elected officials along with community people, and they made a statement, several of them, that I always had high expectation for people. And when people are supposed to do a job, we expect for them to do it. The city manager, who will be working very closely with Chief Farmer and his staff, will say to them that the Public Safety Committee, we want to do everything we possibly can to make all of our citizens safe in this community. And we expect our public safety people to always be alert, to always be ready. I'm reminded of the little boy in the 5th grade when one of our chiefs visited a school, and was Chief Bullitt. We have a fire station here, right in our downtown area, named after Chief Bullitt, a very fine man. And he wanted to ask the students, what do you think we do as fire people? And one little boy said, all you do is cook. Chief said, oh, no, we do more than that. And some of the things you heard the mayor share about our fire people. Chief Farmer would be very disappointed if all you did was to have delicious meals in the fire station. That's why we have a fire educator who's here, Ms. Tatum, to make sure that the public is educated about what we do with our fire people. So I want to say in behalf of the Public Safety Committee that we never put a price tag on safety for the 235,000 citizens in this community. I would also like to say, those of you who've come to our city for the first time, we invite you to have an opportunity to visit some of the places downtown. We pride ourselves with the investment that we have made, with the economic impact and job opportunities, that our downtown is becoming second to no downtown. So we would like for you to visit the downtown, see the things that we offer. And when you go back home, and pray that you go back home and you will be safe as you travel, that you share with your friends and your relatives how great the city of Winston-Salem is, and we want to go back. May God bless you, and may God bless the graduates. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. In the council manager form of government, the city manager oversees the day-to-day operations and the delivery of service. In his 7 years as our city manager, he has championed greater customer service and accountability. Please welcome our city manager, Lee Garrity.
Good morning. First, I do want to recognize a couple key members of my staff that are in the back, Assistant City Manager Derwick Page and our HR Director, Carmen Caruth. Both of them have a lot of involvement with the fire department. Recruits, just want to say a couple words about the fire service. The last few weeks I've been dropping in on fire stations. The chief wants me to tell him ahead of time where I'm going, but I won't do that. But I've been dropping in on fire stations and just talking to firefighters. And one of the things that it's brought home to me that I've known, but it reinforced it, is just the remarkable sense of integrity, the remarkable sense of courage, compassion, and service that I find in all of our public safety employees. A lot has been said recently about the just horrific tragedy in Arizona. And when you hear the descriptions of those firefighters, it's not unlike ours. It's the same willingness to run into that building, to do those things, to help that person in distress, to put others, to put the 235,000 citizens of Winston-Salem ahead of your own lives, ahead of your own family's lives. And it is just a great honor to be able to welcome you to our city, and I know that you will live up to that code. So welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Each of these graduates seated before you today successfully completed more than 800 hours of training and testing at the highest level to wear the badge they're going to receive today and to be tasked with saving lives and property every day, all around the clock. They are led by a 30-year veteran firefighter who oversees the city's 19 fire stations, 321 firefighters, and an annual budget of $25 million. Please welcome our fire chief, Anthony Farmer.
Good morning. Good morning, recruits. First of all, I could not stand up here unless I thank God for the opportunity for all of us to be here today. He is my lead and my savior, and I always thank him because he makes it so that we see and live another day. We'd like to thank you all this morning for attending this graduation. We thank our elected officials, our mayor pro tem, council members, our city management, our city family members that are here, and certainly the families and friends and citizens that are here today supporting this celebration, the newest recruit class graduating here today. We also want to recognize our visiting fire departments and participating departments also. Would you please stand? Let's give them a hand. I'd just like to remind you this morning and remind the recruits that the business or the world of firefighting is filled with numerous tasks. Firefighters will always say, or have a tendency to say, Chief, our plates are full, and we know yours is full also. And truthfully, I appreciate that because the world of firefighting is filled with numerous tasks. It's a rigorous job, and we'll accept that job. We have accepted it as these people have accepted it as of today. We start the day just like any other job. We come to work, we get to work early, we meet, we greet, we talk, we may eat breakfast, we have a cup of coffee. That's similar to what most people do in their jobs, read the paper and preparing our personal selves and our mind for the rigor that the day will begin. Once we do that and we satisfy ourselves, then shortly after that, the day begins. Now that day for a fire person begins at 7:30. For certain persons in the fire service, that begins pre-7:30 because they are busy preparing the equipment so that they can be ready to go when their shift starts. So again, the day starts early for a firefighter. We begin our work shift, we prepare our stations, we prepare our equipment so that we are ready to serve during the emergency. After that, we begin to implement those activities that make serving you work. Those activities support our key programs. They might include fire inspections, responding to calls, being prepared for the suppression or the rescues necessary in our business, prevention, administration. We respond to hazardous materials incidents. We manage our fleet, and we take care of our own. Those are the kinds of things we do on a daily basis. I was with a chief yesterday, and he said he tells his people 7 to 5 o'clock every day is just like any other job. And I agree with that. It's like any other job with a couple of exceptions. There are not many occupations where people strip off their own personal desires to live and go out and sacrifice themselves to save their fellow brother. But these firefighters do it, and they do it without any regret, and they don't hold back. And I applaud them for doing that. Would you applaud the fire service for what it does? We execute those activities with expert technique, proficiency, efficiency, and a customer service expectation that continues to be leading edge in our city and in our community. We, in essence, partner with our citizens, making you aware of how to protect yourselves, and then we respond to take care of you when we are not successful or simply make a mistake. That is what we do. And I hold me accountable, I hold our firefighters accountable. So to our new recruits, I tell you today, the work begins today. Now, you started several weeks ago and went through a rigor of classes, engaging each other, learning teamwork, camaraderie, and learning numerous aspects of the job that have prepared you for when you start. Well, starting Monday, your shift begins. In regard to what I said, recruits, are you ready for the challenge? Yes, sir. Are you ready for the challenge? Yes, sir. To our city leaders, hold us accountable. To our elected officials, our mayor pro tem, hold us accountable. To you, the citizens, to the firefighters, hold us accountable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. The commitment to become a firefighter comes with a requirement to endure those 800 hours of training. And Captain Robert Wade, who oversees training, will provide us an overview of what it takes to become a Winston-Salem firefighter.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for being here for Class 19. I'm here to give you a brief overview this morning of the training that Class 19 received during recruit school. But first of all, I'd like to thank the instructors, both in EMT, firefighter, rescue school, for SciTech, Wesley Hutchins, Barbara Hunt, Larry Holloman. Thank you for everything that you guys did through the school. It wouldn't be possible without you. We started with 6 weeks of EMT. During EMT, we learned the basic skills and fundamentals of providing patient care and responding to medical emergencies. After EMT, they completed 12 weeks of fire school. They learned the skills that are foundational to our jobs as firefighters. Things like ventilation, fire control, fire behavior, public education, prevention, building construction, just to name a few. Upon completion of fire school, they're North Carolina certified 1 and 2. After fire school, we completed 4 weeks of rescue school. During rescue school, we learned and trained on things like ropes and rigging, vehicle extrication, victim management, some technical aspects of our job. After rescue school, we ended with emergency vehicle operator, hydraulics, and pump training. For many of these guys, it was their first opportunity to be behind the wheel of a fire truck, and those orange cones knew it. One other thing that I'm very proud that we were able to add to this school this year was the 40-hour National Fire Academy RIT training. This training is firefighter survival and firefighter rescue, how we rescue ourselves. This class, this may save their life or mine one day. I've enjoyed being with these guys. I hope to serve with you.
Thank you, Captain. Assistant Chiefs Chris Langham and Robert Owens will present the awards for Class 19. They are Top EMT, Top Firefighter 1 and 2, Outstanding Teammate, and the Fire Chiefs Award. Chief Langham, Chief Owens.
Good morning. It's certainly a beautiful day here in Winston-Salem today. A little bit wet, but it's certainly not going to dampen our celebration as we graduate Class 19 recruits to firefighters with the Winston-Salem Fire Department. It's certainly my honor and privilege to be here to present a series of awards First, let me talk about the Outstanding Teammate Award. Teamwork in the fire department is extremely important. No one person extinguishes a fire, cares for a person who's ill, or extricates somebody from a vehicle accident. It takes a team working together to accomplish those tasks. Over the past weeks and months, these individuals have worked together to become a team, one team committed to excellence. A few weeks ago, these recruits were asked to vote for one of their peers who best represent the spirit and attitude of an outstanding teammate. The class was asked to select that person who is hardworking, dependable, trustworthy, and courageous. Above all, a person who is willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done and always to help their fellow teammates. These are the characteristics that define the outstanding teammate of Class 19. The Outstanding Teammate Award goes to Justin McIntyre. Next, I'd like to talk about the Top Firefighter Award. The firefighter training encompasses over 296 hours of the 820-hour recruit school. It involves numerous written tests, practical skill evaluations to make sure that each recruit is proficient in the job of firefighting. This training is very intense and requires many hours of study to be successful. Although each recruit has been successful in this recruit school, one has excelled with the highest average test score of the group of 94%. The Top Firefighter Award goes to William Bergeron. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the Top Emergency Medical Technician Award and also the Fire Chiefs Award. The Emergency Medical Technician training encompasses 169 hours, and it also involves numerous tests to ensure that each recruit is proficient in providing emergency care to our citizens when needed. This training is very intense also and requires many hours of study. Although each recruit endures the emergency medical training, one has excelled with the highest average test score of the group of 98%. The Fire Chiefs Award is presented to the recruit who during their training period demonstrates academic excellence with the highest grade point average combined and demonstrates superior practical skills. This year, one recruit receives both of these awards. The Top Emergency Medical Technician and the Fire Chiefs Award go to Tyler Eves. Thank you.
Chief Freddie Broom will now join us to introduce our keynote speaker.
Good morning. I have the honor and privilege this morning to introduce our keynote speaker, Chief Paul D. Brooks. Chief Brooks is the Executive Director for the Center for Public Safety Corporation, CPSC. He retired from the Greensboro Fire Department in 2008 with nearly 35 years of service. Prior to his appointment as Executive Director of CPSC, he served as Vice Chair and Chairperson of the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. He holds a BA in Management and Ethics from John Wesley College and is a graduate of the University of North Carolina Institute of Government and Municipal Administration program. Chief Brooks serves as a treasurer on the executive board of the National Alliance for Public Safety GIS Foundation and as a director of the CFAI Risk Incorporation. Chief Brooks also is a principal member of the Congressional Fire Service Institute National Advisory Committee and serves on the Advisory Committee for Fire Programs at Eastern Kentucky University and the University of California, Davis. In addition, Chief Brooks also is a Standards Committee member for the NFPA 1710, Standards for the Organizational and Development of Fire Service Operations, the Emergency Medical Operations, and Special Operations to the Public by Career Fire Departments. At this time, please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Chief Paul Brooks.
Thank you for the introduction, Chief. Thank you, Mayor, Manager, Councilwoman, Chief Farmer. Mostly thanks to you for allowing me the opportunity to come and speak, talk to you folks today. This is like a homecoming for me. I'm from the neighborhood, spent a lot of time here. My home is North Carolina. My home, still have my home in Greensboro. I get to hang out a little bit in that crazy world outside of Washington. I go down to see the tourist activities as much as possible and stay away from everything else as much as possible. In listening to my introduction, I hear how long I've been around. And I do have a 40-year career in the fire service, have no intention of ending at any time soon. Don't do the math. You know, yes, I've been in the fire service as long as two of you have been alive together. Chief Langham pointed out that my career spans more time than his existence on the face of the earth. What that does is puts me in a good position to tell you what you have to look forward to and what a wonderful choice you've made in terms of your career. But there's a lot of people here today that deserve congratulations and recognition. So let me start with first the families. You have invested a lot here. You have a lot at stake in these folks that are sitting before us. And I want to congratulate you for them being here, because I doubt very seriously they would be here today if it weren't for you and your support. You probably had to put up with a lot. Cranky attitudes, tired, exhausted after recruit school, helping coach and train and watching them prepare for their academics and for the physical activities. So this is an achievement for you as much as them. My point is Chief Farmer's point, though. It doesn't end today. This is really the beginning of your journey. Now they're shifting to another phase. They're going out and actually entering into the service, and they'll need your support as they continue forward. They're going to be away from home for long periods of time. They're going to end up spending as much time probably with their fire service family as with you, their immediate family. You'll be surprised at how quickly those things blend together. To the department, congratulations, Chief Farmer, your staff, all the people that I see here from your department. This is proof positive of the quality of people that you're producing to serve your community, and that's what we're all about, service to our community. You've heard the words, protecting life and property, service, excellence. That's the calling that we've all answered to. Again, for me, this is a bit of a homecoming because I have known many people over my career in your organization, and I see a lot of faces out here, and I spoke to a lot of people this morning that have meant a lot to me in my career. And that's an important point for you. These people that you're getting ready to engage with are going to help you. They're going to be your mentors. They're going to be shaping your career. And please pay attention and get the most value out of that you can. But for the department, congratulations on getting them to where they're at. But this is not the end. This is just the beginning. This is where your journey really begins. The training staff and training cadre have equipped them, and now they're trained with the skills to be a firefighter. But they're getting ready to enter the organization. They're getting ready to enter the culture of the community and the Winston-Salem Fire Department. And the department will now determine what kind of firefighters they become. They have the skills, now we have to bring them where we want them to be the people we want to be, the type of servants we want to be. Graduates, I spoke to a few of you outside. Man, you're probably so happy today got here, aren't you? Now, the chief told me all of you that started made it. That's great. That's unusual. You don't see that often, maybe not in this department, but certainly across the country. A lot of times there are people that simply don't make it. You've all made it, and that speaks highly for you and your class and your character. All the frustration and exhaustion and the challenges that you faced, you're glad to have that over. You've been waiting to get out there and get on that big truck and start doing the fun stuff. And that is wonderful, and this is a point to celebrate. What you have achieved, thousands would love to do. Never forget that. The seat that you hold, there are thousands of people out here that would love the opportunity to do what you do. So don't cheapen that seat, value that seat. Do all that you can do with that seat. So what does that mean? Your journey's just beginning. Today's not the end, today is your beginning on the rest of your career and the rest of your life. Now you're joining a great organization. Winston-Salem Fire Department has a history that most organizations can't claim, dating back more than 225 years. Some highlights: you were the second oldest fire department, or the second fire department ever to be registered with the state of North Carolina. You were the first fire department in the state to acquire a piece of real fire apparatus to move from buckets to something a little more sophisticated. Your department hired the first female firefighter. It's believed that your department hired the first female firefighter in the country. You certainly hired the first African-American fire chief in North Carolina in 1980, appointed Chief Irwin. I got to know Chief Irwin during his career. A little piece that I tie with the department, in addition to the relationships, is you were the host of the North Carolina Association of Fire Chiefs and North Carolina Firemen's Association Conference here the year that I was elected president of that organization. That was in this very building. Actually, I think it was in this same room, opened up this way. Great organization, great history. And the quality of your organization is very high. You've heard the councilwoman speak to it. You heard the mayor and your city administrator speak to it. But there's proof beyond that. The folks that live in this community enjoy some of the best insurance rates in the country, and it's because the insurance industry recognizes your community, your city, your department, and what you do, and mostly they recognize the outcomes of what you do. there's less than 3,000 fire departments in the United States today, or fire districts in the United States today, that hold as high an insurance rating as you do. That's 6% of the total number of fire departments in the country. You're in the top 4% in the state of North Carolina. Your chief, in some of the material that he has written and spoke of in the past, has talked about your organization as one of excellence. And that speaks to the culture and what you're trying to do for the community. You'll hear this in the fire stations all the time. What are we doing today? We're protecting lives, protecting property, saving lives, protecting property. You know, but it's more than that. You're servants to the community. You're going to develop a servant attitude. People that are drawn to our organization, our profession, have that servant attitude. And you're there to serve the community, and you want to do it the best you can. You're stewards of the community's resources. The councilwoman said there's high expectations for you, justifiably so. We are servants of the public, not demean in any other industry or any other job, but you are not in retail. You're not working for Walmart or Sears. I did both. I worked for McDonald's. You're not working for McDonald's. You're working for the public. You're serving the public. So just by that, you have a responsibility that's higher than most everybody else in your community. You're stewards of the public trust. That searching for excellence in service is part of your organization, and it's evidence of what the leadership is getting ready to do. I'm here with you today because I lead the organization that accredits fire departments and credentials chief fire officers internationally. And your organization is one of our registered fire departments, and you're going to be going through a rigorous, very rigorous self-assessment as part of the accreditation self-assessment process very soon. And you'll all probably be part of that process. That whole process is designed to be one to help you with that search for excellence, to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Now, our organization is the only one in the world that does this. There's only one organization that accredits fire departments. We're in 7 nations. We have over 500 fire departments now in the pipeline, and over 1,000 chief fire officers and other designees that have went that extra step, that raised the bar to make sure they're doing the right things the right way for the right reasons. And that's kind of what the whole idea of accreditation for an institution or organization, or professional credentialing for a chief fire officer, chief medical officer is all about. Our system is a very complex system that your organization's going to go through, but to answer 4 really simple questions. And these are questions that you should constantly be asking yourself about yourself as well. For the organization, you're going to be asking, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? How well is it working? And how can we make it better? Now that sounds so simple, doesn't it? But it's so hard for all of us to do. We get caught up in the whirlwinds of our lives and our organizations and our communities. But if someone is not asking those questions, we're not doing as well as we could or should be doing. So again, for the organization and for the individual, if you're searching for excellence, be sure and ask yourself these questions. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? How well is it working? And how can we make it better? And never be satisfied. Never be satisfied. When I was a young firefighter, when I came in the fire department, it was by accident. Actually, when I don't admit this often, when I was 5-year-old, I set a fire in my home, set a bed on fire. Yep, fire department had to come, put it out. 3 months later, I set another one. My first introduction to the Greensboro Fire Department was on the front porch of my house, and this grizzly old captain standing there, full turnout gear. Now I'm like 5 years old. He's in full turnout gear, and he's reading me the Riot Act, and the law enforcement's going to come and haul me to jail, you know, all the things. But what I saw in them kind of changed maybe the way I focused what I wanted to do, but I never thought as I was growing up that I was going to be a firefighter. It was by circumstances, it just kind of came together. So I was extremely happy to get the job, and at that point it was a job. It should never be just a job. This is not just a job. It's a calling that you're getting ready to embark on. I set a goal just to make it through training. You know, I just wanted to get through training, get out and get on the fire truck, start having fun, doing the shift work, you know, getting out in the community. You do exciting things, you do fun stuff, you know, getting into the job. It took me 3-4 years to figure out, wait a minute, there's so much more here. So I set a goal. If I could ever just be company officer, if I could be a captain in this fire department, I'd be completely satisfied. Well, I made captain about 9 years. Wonderful job, and I think I'm at the pinnacle. And I'm laying in bed the first night that I'm the company officer, and you guys know what this feeling's like. The first night that I was a company officer, go to bed, and I'm in a room now by myself. I'm separated from the rest of the crew. And I'm laying there, and all day long, all the excitement, all that starts shifting away. And I start thinking about the responsibility. And I start thinking, wait a minute, I don't know these guys. Who are these people in my company? And in all honesty, I didn't start out on the world's greatest skilled fire company. And I got to thinking about this, thinking, wait a minute. In my district, we've got a lot of residential properties, we got apartment complexes everywhere, a huge number of people exposed. And within an hour, I'm laying there sweating bullets thinking, I hope the alarm never goes off. I hope we don't have to go out the door. Guess what happened? Alarm goes off. You go out, it's like falling off a bike, you get back on, get in a seat. My company performed great. We had a good response, we acted good, we worked well as a team. But laying there, running all those questions through my mind, I said, I can't be satisfied. Can't be satisfied with this. I got to make sure I'm not just a company officer, I'm a good company officer, and I'm the best company officer. Never be satisfied. Always be looking for how you can be better. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? How well is it working? How can I make it better? Always be looking for your way of making it better. That's what accreditation is about. It's not about the plaque on the wall. It's about the process and looking at what we're doing for the community, and is it the right thing? It's not for us, it's for them. Are we doing the right thing for the community in the right ways? Same thing about our credentialing programs, and this applies to you. You'll be eligible at some point for our credentialing programs, and I hope to see you as fire officers, chief fire officers down the road. Somebody in this group may be sitting where Chief Farmer's sitting, where the assistant chiefs are sitting today. That's what your goal should be. But our credentialing program is not about the plaque. It's not for me, a chief officer, to apply and get that plaque on the wall to validate what I've done. It's for you. It's the model for professional development that you should use to be able to get to that position, to make yourself eligible, to make yourself beyond eligible and be qualified to sit in that position. We try to produce the whole package. Don't be one-dimensional. Bring the whole package to the table. What if only the quarterback showed up for an NFL football game? You know, records are not going to be that great, are they? You got to have the whole package. You got to bring the whole team to play. For our individuals, we look at formal education. You should be looking at your formal education and seeing, how can I make it better? What do I need? How well is what I got working? How can I make it better? Your experience, technical competence. People in our industry focus a lot on technical competence. I've already told you, your training staff has prepared you 800 hours of training. You've been in this 24 weeks. You have the technical competency now, the skills to be a firefighter. You're not yet a firefighter. You're going to become a firefighter. How do you apply those skills and those competencies, and how well do you do jobs going to determine what type of firefighter you are. You have to bring the whole package. And as you're engaging in your career and you're going out engaging in the department, I would encourage you, continue your professional development. It can't stop where you're at now. Continue your professional engagement. Be a part of your organization. Look for ways to participate beyond the job that you're currently setting in. And don't forget your community. I told you about the type of people that our industry attracts. Our organizations attract people with servant attitudes, callings. You're here to serve. So look for other ways to serve. Look around your community now. Who are the coaches for your kids' football teams and basketball teams and baseball teams? I bet you if you look in your local community athletic association, you're going to find a lot of firefighters out there doing that. Who's working for MDA and United Way and March of Dimes? You look out there and you're going to see there's a lot of firefighters that are out there volunteering, engaging. It's that servant attitude. So engage yourself professionally, but also in your community. Now, it's going to be fun. You're going to have a lot of fun when you get out there. And yeah, they're going to have a lot of fun with you when they get you out there. The folks in the station are just waiting. They're going to have a ball with you. You're going to be like, you are going to be the rookie. You're going to be the freshman in high school. They're going to play all kind of games with you, and you go along. You enjoy those. You understand what the role is. It's a system of assimilation. And I'm sure these folks are going to make sure it doesn't go too far, but there's always a bit of that assimilating into the culture that you will experience, and it can be fun. Now, if somebody tries to send you to get the gas to refill the fluorescent light bulbs, just smile and go do it. You know, don't argue. Just go and let them take their pictures, and they'll have fun with that. But you're going to face challenges too. You've seen a little bit of it. You're going to face more challenges, mental challenges. Your training's not over. Your training's just beginning. You're getting ready to go to another level. You've got physical challenges that you're going to face. But probably the greatest are going to be the emotional challenges that you're going to face. You're going to see things. You know, I told you there's thousands of people that love to be in your seat. You're going to get to do things that most of the people in this room are never going to get the opportunity to do. But you're also going to see and experience things that none of them never will. My first fire death 6 months into my career was a 6-month-old baby in a mobile home, same age as my son. On the very day that after the fire, they took me straight from the fire to the training ground for my 6-month probationary exam. You can imagine the stress, but the emotional stress that you're going to undergo. You're going to have a great support organization to help you deal with that, but you need to be emotionally prepared and emotionally strong as well, and create your own network that you can depend on, your family and your friends, your co-workers, your classmates. You're going to spread out over the city, never lose touch with each other. I just attended a few weeks back a 25th anniversary of the graduation of the last recruit class that I taught. And they are hitting their 25th year mark. Their families hang out together. They go on vacations together. They play ball together as well as work together. It's one giant big family that can help support you in the things that you're going to see. And we count on you to be strong in those situations. So you have to have this support network behind you, because the public, the people you're serving, count on you to be strong. They count on you to be capable, able, physically, skill-wise, technically, as well as emotionally strong. Because when they call on you, their world's been messed up. Your fire department responds to 27,000 calls for service a year, more than that, I believe, more than 27,000 calls for service a year. And that's not counting the things like, I believe your mayor said, there's so much more that you do than just ride and fight fires. When they call you, their world's messed up. Something's gone wrong. And they're looking to you to fix it for them, to bring some stability back. So when you go out there, remember, you're not just putting out the fire, you're tending to the victim as well. And they're dependent on you for their support. You know, the bottom line, why are we here? What are we doing this for? I want you to understand what the bottom line is about. Never forget this. In the United States, annually, there's $1.3 million of property lost to fire. That's not true. 1.3 million fires a year. There's $11.7 billion lost in those fires. But think about it, 1.3 million fires a year. More than 3,000 people die in fires annually. That's not firefighter deaths, that's civilian deaths. Bigger than that, almost 18,000 people a year are injured in fires. We need to help them deal with those circumstances. We need to do all we can to help prevent that. Now let's put it in perspective for all of us so that you understand what they're doing. While we're sitting here, from the time you got here this morning till this ceremony will be over and you leave, fire departments across the United States will have responded to nearly 500 fire calls and will fight 175 structure fires. While you're sitting here, this is going on, and that's our world. In those fires, at least one person's going to die, and 6 people are going to be injured. While we're sitting here, that's the bottom line. That's what this is all about. In addition to the fire calls, they're going to respond to about 10,000 medical emergencies just in the few hours that we're here together. It's our job to help them get their world stable again. But it's not without risk. You know, firefighter deaths, we all know in the industry, we've been working hard to bring firefighter injuries and deaths down. And we have, over the last 3-4 years, we've dropped from 100 a year to about 80 a year. In 2012, there were 83 firefighter line of duty deaths in the United States. North Carolina was tied for number 1 with Pennsylvania with 9 firefighter line of duty deaths right here in our state. You know, already this year, there have been 66. There have been the multiple death tragedies, and we've already been reminded about the 19 that lost their lives last week. Think about this while we're here celebrating. Prescott, Arizona is burying 19 of their firefighters this week. There's probably a funeral starting in just a few minutes in Prescott, Arizona. That was a big news thing. You heard about it. What you don't probably realize, since those 19 died, there's been 4 more. There are 4 more firefighter deaths. Firefighters exposed to injury more than 70,000 annually. So take serious what you do. You know, there's a lot at stake here. There's the exposure, the risk to our communities, and serving our communities, trying to help their world be better. We want to reduce risk and harm to the people in the communities we serve. We want to do it as good stewards of their resources. We want to have that servant attitude. But understand there's a risk involved, and your organization's going to do all they can to help protect you in those situations, but you have the responsibility to look out for each other. Because Chief Farmer's not inside crawling along that hand line with you. The 2 of you are going to be in there, and you're going to be looking out for each other. You know, so take what you do seriously. Enjoy the job. Feel good about the status and what goes with it, but understand what the bottom line is. Have pride and passion about what you do. You know, you can just go to work if that's what you want to do. I don't think that's what you're about. You're not just going to go to work. You're going to have passion about what you're doing and where you're going. I turn to a voice from the past to help understand a little bit about the calling, the service attitude, and the passion for what we do. And I'm going to read a statement to you from a former Greensboro fire chief. And this was actually our first fire chief when the Greensboro Fire Department became fully paid in 1926, became a fully paid fire department. And the new chief was Frank Shaw. He had been a captain, paid captain working in the kind of city volunteer fire department at the time and was made chief. Man never finished high school, probably had about an 8th grade education, but had found his commitment in life and listened not just to the message but the words. And this is someone that grew themselves way beyond their humble beginnings in a cotton mill village. He's when asked to compare the work of a firefighter with other professions, Chief Saul said, "It is not uncommon to hear of a doctor who has given of himself so completely to his job and made such sacrifices that his own life has been cut short. In any line of endeavor, the element of sacrifice is present, making constant demands upon those who would be faithful to their work. Firefighting's no exception. The firefighter who is truly conscientious must be prepared to undergo hardships, even lay down his life for the principles he is sworn to uphold. The firefighter is not greatly different from the soldier. His enemy is just as real as ever faced a soldier on the field of battle, and the lengths that must be gone to cope with that enemy are just as great. But there's hardly the glory in the life of a firefighter that there is in the life of a soldier or a doctor. It is true that glory is but an empty thing, satisfying while it endures, but quick to fade and die. Nevertheless, while the soldier is for a while and idle, his exploits written of and read, the firefighter, through his sacrifice, his courage, his ability and value be as great, must do his work unsung. He dies and few may know it. His is largely a career carried on in obscurity." Now this is the message. But for a real firefighter, wholly conscientious and faithful to his duty, such a fact is not disheartening. He knows within himself that what he does is good, and the satisfaction of work well done is sufficient to carry him along. Life's about stories. That's Chief Shaw's story. What's your story going to be? Another point that I would make about my organization's accreditation and credentialing processes is ties it to something that my son said at his wedding reception. We were all doing the reception after rehearsal and giving the toast and that sort of thing, and my son got up, and he was from a very close-knit community of folks that were in the military together. And in addressing them, he talked about, life's all about the stories. Life's about the stories. We have experiences, and from those we tell stories. We share the stories of our experiences. We share them with the people that experienced it with us. We share them with the people we love, we care about. But the only way the experience has value is through the story, right? It's through the telling of the story. So the questions I ask you to ask, what's that got to do with your story? Well, first I'd ask you, what is your story? What's the story of the Winston-Salem Fire Department? Going through a process asking questions, what are we doing, why are we doing it, how well is it working, how can we make it better? You start to understand what your story is, and if you understand your story, then you can tell your story to other people. But then the real power comes, and this is my challenge to you. The real power is that once you do that, then you can start writing your story. You can become the author of your own story. You can determine where you're going, what you're going to do, whether you're going to sit in that seat or somewhere else in the community. Become the author of your own story. I challenge you. Be engaged. Be passionate about what you do. Always try to be the best at what you're doing. Bring the whole package to the table and be the author of your own story. Congratulations.
Thank you. It is a tradition in the Fire Department's Training Academy that the class selects a spokesperson and that person brings remarks during graduation. The spokesperson for Class 19 is recruit Justin McIntyre.
On behalf of Winston-Salem Fire Department Recruit Class 19, we would like to welcome everyone to this special occasion. We're all thankful you've attended. When you spend the past 24 weeks involved in numerous training activities and events, you have a lot of people to thank for your success. Please bear with me as I thank the people who have helped us become firefighters. We'd like to thank the City of Winston-Salem, Mayor Alan Joines, City Manager Lee Garrity, the City Council, Fire Chief Anthony Farmer, for allowing us to become part of this department. Thanks to Assistant Chief Robert Owens, Assistant Chief Terry Carter, Assistant Chief Freddie Broom, and Assistant Chief Chris Langham, Captain Bobby Wade, and all of the great people in the fire administration for making this transition and training process smooth and successful. Thanks to all the employees of the Winston-Salem Fire Department for welcoming us into their family and helping us along the way. In our training, we not only trained about fire prevention and suppression, we also learned about the medical demand of the fire service. For that, we'd like to thank Captain Chris Belcher and Forsyth County EMS for teaching us about proper patient care. Part of our training also involved physical fitness, as we all dreaded those early mornings that could consist of anything from a 9-mile run to a hard and strenuous workout at Wake Forest that normally led to someone hugging the trash can, also known as the cookie jar. In saying that, we do actually want to say thank you to the team of instructors, Captain Scott Golden, Captain Kelvin A. Struck, Captain Ricky Brown, Captain Marcus Drone, Engineer Chris Shonk, Inspector Angie Richardson, firefighters Charles Allen and Adam Gajewski. Thanks for your dedication and hard work. Our achievements would not have been possible if it wasn't for the guidance and day-to-day operations from Assistant Chief Chris Langham and Captain Bobby Wade. Well, thank you for our support and our quest to become firefighters. Last but not least, we need to thank the families that have given the support in the past 24 weeks. We've worked, studied, day, night, and weekend to ensure success on our many exams and practicals. Thank you for your understanding and support, and I hope you can start reaping the benefits of your sacrifice. Although I've gone home quite a few days with a headache, I'd like to thank my classmates for giving me the opportunity to represent us and sticking together and helping everyone through our training. You'll always be family to me. I'm here today to give reflections on our class. Most of what went on was top secret, R-19 classified, so we can't discuss that stuff. But what I can tell you are some of the things we've learned about in the Winston-Salem Fire Department and each other along the way. And I'll tell you, I've learned a little bit too much about some of you guys. When we started this endeavor on January 28th, we had 14 individuals coming from different backgrounds to form a team to represent one in the Winston-Salem Fire Department Recruit Class 19. We had teachers, a banker, an electrician, a hockey coach, mentors, and a few guys that had been in the military. And then we had a Marine. I cannot forget about a young man from Advance Fire Department that joined us for remaining of recruit school to obtain his certifications as well. Travis White's good. That big smile, your strong and willing desire to learn will carry you a long way. Your hard work did not go unnoticed. With our diverse backgrounds, we all had lots to talk about and learn from one another. Everyone kind of selected one or two people to associate with until times got tough in class. Then we all started to get to know each other better so we could support each other. Through our training, we not only learned about the fire department, we learned about each other. We did that by working, studying, and interacting together. As we all grew on each other and understood our differences, we started to appreciate each other and what each of us could bring to the table. I can tell you that we all are very excited about our careers in the fire department and are ready to graduate and move on. Becoming a firefighter is one of the most challenging and competitive jobs in America. We not only have the opportunity to succeed, we have the opportunity to succeed in the best fire department in the world. We also have the opportunity to make a difference. With all the knowledge that has been relayed to us in the past 24 weeks, to keep learning and striving for perfection, so people that depend on us know we will be there when duty calls. On a final note, I want to challenge all of my classmates and all the firefighters in the room to reach for perfection in your career. Never sell yourself short of your dreams. And may we all have safe and prosperous careers. Thank you.
Now is the time in the ceremony when we present the graduates their badges. It is customary that we call the name of each graduate and have them come forward to be congratulated by all the individuals seated here on the stage and to join the person they chose to share in the honor of pinning their badge onto their uniform for the first time. So if you were selected to do the pinning, please move to my immediate right to the backdrop and wait for your graduate. I'll also ask that you hold your applause until all graduates have had their badges pinned onto their uniforms. Assistant Chief Christopher Langham will call the graduates onto the stage, and Chief Farmer will present their badges.
I would like to, first of all, just point out a few highlights. Chief Brooks mentioned that thousands of individuals want to be sitting there. When this process started back in, I would say, July of last year through the application process, we had almost 1,000 applicants apply for the position of firefighter. And that slowly, through a rigorous process, thanks to Aaron Hudson from Human Resources walking, holding my hand, holding these recruits' hands through the process, we narrowed that down to 14, and you are the 14. You finally reached the pinnacle, and I'm proud of you. Class 19 recruits. William Bergeron. John Calhoun. Christopher Delalas. Tyler Eves. Chad Habersham. Jonathan Ingram. Darius Johnson. Dexter McClunley. Justin McIntyre. Rashad Means. Christopher Perry. Mark Podlaski. Pedro Torres. Ryan Turner. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been mentioned several times throughout in our continued effort to build and foster relationships with our neighboring agencies. We've had a young man that very much feels like our own, has went through the 24 weeks of training with our recruits and completed the entire recruit school and is well deserving to participate in this graduation from Advanced Fire Department. And Chief Rodney Miller from the Advanced Fire Department will be presenting his badge. Trevor Swicegood. As we're finishing up the pinning of the last few, for the rest of you, it's okay to look down at your chest right now. It's hard to see that badge looking down on it, isn't it? When you get home, just go straight to the bathroom, lock the door, don't tell anybody, and smile when you look at yourself in the mirror. And wear that badge with pride, integrity, and honor, because you've earned it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Temp, and our Public Safety Chair, Vivian Burke, Mr. City Manager, and all of you, please join me in welcoming the newest firefighters to the City of Winston-Salem Fire Department.
Couldn't let this program end without thanking the folk that put it together. I did not put this program together, but the staff of this department did. I'd like to thank Takara Tolan, as well as the fire administration staff for the work that they do for our city. They don't do this work for me, they do it for their city, and I'm just so thankful for them. I also like to thank the marketing department. They play a major role in helping us make this happen, so please give those folks a hand also. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Congratulations to the men of Class 19. You are now officially firefighters in one of the most respected fire and rescue departments in the state. You are held to high standards and given the challenging task of watching over our city around the clock. Good luck, man, and congratulations. To our audience, a reception will take place as soon as we break just outside the doors behind you. You're welcome to come back inside the auditorium to take photos with your graduates. That will conclude our program. And I would like to take a moment to recognize Councilmember Bessie of the Southwest Ward. Excuse me. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That concludes our program.